So I do a little bit of a crazy 14-month-old with me today. So please be patient if she is a little bit crazy. So my name's Andrea, as Tannis kind of introduced. I've been working in the food and beverage industry full-time for the last 20 years. I come from a vast background of ranging from small family-owned restaurants, large-scale industrial cafeterias, gastropubs, farm-to-table, high-end restaurants, catering, and most recently, my most recent experience, I guess I should say, is Made Foods, which is a food processing retail food business. I am going to talk a little bit about today about working with a chef for open farm days, but also for the future. I do want to talk a little bit about Made Foods so you can get an idea of some of my experience and how I can maybe help to bring some more opportunities to your business. Made Foods started in Calgary in 2015. I was a founding partner, the vice president, and the executive chef. In the first year of business, we had over 100 employees, 9 locations, 1 food truck, 4 delivery vans. We did a home delivery program. We sold wholesale to hospitals, grocery stores, daycares, private schools. We did large catering, lots of special events, both large and small, and we had a massive community involvement program. So as you can see, we grew really fast and really large, and it was a crazy experience. But from all of this, I learned so much. So that's kind of why I'm here today, is to be able to kind of share some of that experience with you and hope that it can help you guys in building your business. So how to work with a chef is, the average chef struggles with running a modern food business. We have the same struggles that you guys do, keeping costs in line, promoting a sustainable local food system, cooking with local ingredients, sometimes unreliable staff, not enough time, an unstable market, difficult guests, social media, and large food companies and suppliers that could make our jobs so, unethical. We as chefs want to do more than just cook food in a restaurant. We want to know that we're helping the greater good. We want to make a difference. We're teachers by trade. We love to help people learn and grow. We are people pleasers. We love to make people happy with the food we create. And we have purchasing power to help move the local food movement in a positive direction. With that being said, I guess terroir cooking can force chefs to really be more inventive and more creative. It's really about chefs exploiting their knowledge and looking further ahead and really kind of planning. And, we have such a diverse terroir in Alberta that we really have the ability to showcase what the province has to offer. So this is where you guys come in. It's really about creating relationships with the producers and the farmers. The more we as chefs know how you are working, what techniques and farming methods you're using, we have more faith in you, which, in turn means we'll invest more trust in you. So I think something that's really important is sort of knowing your food story and the uniqueness of a place, one that gives food from a particular region its particular taste. Meat, cheese, veggies, fruit, they all taste different in different regions. So knowing why and how your product is different will help in building your food story and building relationship with potential chefs. When you partner with a chef, you will heighten people's culinary experience. This can be done with events, presentations, sampling, meals, celebrations, things that showcase your unique regional flavors and the people that supply and create them. Our society has really lost touch with where our food comes from and the choices that we make around food. So knowing what your food story is so important to helping to get society to be more socially responsible with the choices they make when it comes to food. By reconnecting people with their food, we create a population that will value what they eat, which in turn produces more fertile land, more prosperous farmers, and healthier communities that can enjoy the amazing food that is produced right where we live. Finding a business partner. Working with chefs is really about finding a business partner. We as chefs need to find business partners in suppliers, and it needs to work both ways for us and for you. So it's really about building a business opportunity for both of us. The partnerships between chefs and producers is really amazing one, and some of my closest and strongest relationships that I have are with people that I've built business relationships with. Most chefs have a deep belief that and an operating ethic, I guess, that locals know best. So when we get to build this relationship, it allows us to have exceptional food programs that can positively impact your business as well as the guests at our tables. And then, it kind of goes into having a mutual understanding of what's expected. Something that happens often is these relationships are sometimes one-sided, and that they really can't be. So you must work together to make this a successful partnership. To make this work, we both must have a mutual understanding of what's expected. You know, too often I've seen partnerships fail because of a few things. As chefs, I don't really want to admit this, but we often over-promise and under-deliver. It's the reality. We're pleasers. We like to make people happy. It's the reality of what we do. Sometimes we take on too much and can't deliver on what we say we can. Also, have we set realistic goals, timelines, expectations, parameters? Can both parties deliver in the desired timeline? And another thing that happens quite often is we'll say yes to something and then have to backtrack because we don't hold the final decision, whether we own the business or we just work for it. It's just making sure that we have that final say once we've committed to something. And then communication. Have we followed up with the conversation, and having a memo of understanding, which I'll kind of touch in 1 second. And then just really making sure that we can, if we're going to co-brand on it, are we able to co-market, and can we really follow through? Which then kind of brings me to sort of a memo of understanding. You know, it explains what both parties want out of the partnership. Sometimes, or maybe often I should say, things get lost or miscommunicated. So it's important that both parties get what they want out of this and what they need, I guess. If we put it into writing, it makes it a lot easier to make sure that it's done. And, you know, there's nothing worse than saying yes to something that in the end doesn't benefit you in the way you thought it would because it wasn't communicated properly. So on the right, I've got a little example of, you know, sort of a memo of understanding. It's formal. You don't have to have anything formal like this at all. Just a quick follow-up to a conversation or an email, just following up saying, you know, what the partnership is, sort of the overview, the purpose, the scope of work, responsibilities and obligations of each party, cost parameters, limitations, expectations, timeline with dates, cancellation details, and a summary kind of breaking down exactly what you're both responsible for. As you guys know, there's nothing more frustrating than something you've put so much time and effort into not happening because your partner didn't hold up their end of the agreement. So just a quick email following up with that often helps to make sure that it does happen. Your vision is possible. No vision is too big or too small, and I hope that you can see with what we kind of did with Made Foods in the first year that anything really is possible. That was not an easy task, and to be honest, it was way too much to do in a year, but it does show that things can be done. A vision for a project gives the chefs a reason for contributing. It clarifies the project's purpose, eliminates confusion, unifies the people involved, and inspires them to do their best. A few simple points to keep in mind when forming your project vision is keep it simple, actionable, engaging, collaborative, forward-thinking, and specific. And then something that I think is really, really important is what is your why? You know, do we know why we want to do it? I think it's important to remember that profit is a result and not the reason why. So what is your purpose, your cause, your belief? Why does your business exist, and why should anyone really care, to be honest? So, you know, does this all tie into that project and the vision? And then, you know, a few points on how to see your vision through is be determined, never give up on something that means something to you, be leaders, educate with patience and passion, have follow through and communication, be authentic, have integrity and truth in everything that you do, and really be brave. Think big and have the courage to evolve and innovate. That kind of rolls into sort of partnership options and what they are. So the options really are unlimited, from as simple things like demos and sampling, small events, large events, processing, packaging, wholesale. Kind of rolls into demos and sampling. So, you know, that's really sort of the first step of working with a chef. If you're feeling a little hesitant to sort of how to get started, this is a really good way to do it. So, finding that partner and making sure the chef is a right fit is sometimes tough. So because chefs are such people pleasers, we often say yes to things maybe we shouldn't. So making sure that we have the right chef working with us. So this is a good way to get started on that. Not all chefs have the same ability when it comes to partnerships. Some are better with people, some are more organized, some are better at large events rather than small, some are happier doing the behind the scenes work. Some love the spotlight, so finding the right chef really is the best way to get started. So sampling. Food sampling helps to build sales and relationships with customers. For the producers, it helps to get their product into the mouths of current and potential customers. And for the customers, it gives them the opportunity to try something new that is risk-free. Sampling connects the brand with the world around it, but this also needs to be done with a strategic goal in mind. Working with a chef on a sampling program can really help to build sales. It's a proven fact that sampling can boost sales almost immediately, as it introduces your product to a new audience unfamiliar with your brand. Chefs can take your product and really showcase how good it is. Building a sampling program can be very easy and very cost-effective way to get to showcase a product. It can enhance your brand and start a good conversation about what your why is. When working with a chef, you can kind of expect a few things. The creativity, they can help to showcase products that you want to sell. It's important to present the products to your targeted audience in a relevant, meaningful way. They show excitement. Experience is everything. Chefs bring excitement about your product. It radiates and in turn gets the customers excited about it. It's educational. Chefs are the expert in food and preparation. So having this knowledge helps with the excitement that comes with purchasing your product. And then them having the ability to help integrate, making sure that the marketing strategy ties into the sampling and what you're doing to make sure there's a good, clear message coming out. And then that kind of rolls into demos. So food demonstration programs are an interactive way to get your customers involved in more than just a basic sampling of your product. Cooking demos give your customers a chance to taste, touch, and smell your product as it cooks. It allows potential customers to ask questions as the chef is preparing food. Printed recipes are available at the end, so customers can take home. So they know exactly how to handle your product, and it gives them a sense of confidence when they try new products, as well as new cooking techniques. This kind of actually touches back on what Nathan was talking about when he said, sending something home with them, like something to cook at home. So this would be a good way to do that. So they're not stopping somewhere else to pick up dinner on the way home. And then having samples of what the chef just demonstrated. If they're available and people can taste them, they taste the immediate results. So they can then be excited about it. So those are sort of the first two steps with working with a chef, and now you have a kind of a better understanding of what it takes to kind of do that. So once you've done that, you kind of can jump into, I guess, the bigger stuff, which would be events. And as you guys know, food events are so important in food tourism. Events can bring people together to taste new food and wine, escape from routine life, meet new people, get to know their local producers, chefs, and wine experts. Food really brings people together. I've always said it isn't about what you're eating, but who you're eating with that matters. What I mean by that is when people sit around a table, they share food experiences, they socialize, and it really does help the other people at the table to recognize how they value food. So having these events really helps. No matter the size of the event, but it doesn't really matter, but it gives you the opportunity to really showcase a product, enhance your brand, and start a conversation about your why. Any sort of conversations that are happening like this will automatically help to enhance your brand. And like I said before, not all chefs are the same as others. So it's important to work with a chef who has experience in what you're trying to accomplish. If you're working with someone who's used to doing small lunches, dinners, or basic events, you'll be very disappointed to see the result of your large, long table dinner that you have planned. I cannot stress it enough to make sure you have the right kind of chef. So I've got a few questions here that you could potentially ask chefs that you're partnering with. What kind of catering experience do you have? Do you specialize in certain cuisine? Given my budget, guest count, and style, what type of service would you recommend? What can you do for allergies, dietary restrictions? How will you showcase your product and our farm? Why does this project interest you? What does the flow of service look like? How long will the event take based on my vision? There's so many questions. I mean, there's just a few. So, but just remember there's no right or wrong answer. You just need to make sure that they fit into what you're looking for and make sure that that chef can really help to tell your why. Small events, large events, there's cocktail receptions, plated dinners, buffets, long table dinners. There's so many other types of events you can do as well. Okay, processing rolls into sort of what's next. And this sort of rolls into, different techniques and things you can do. So how can a chef help to build a processing program that fits your vision and financial goals? This doesn't necessarily pertain to open farm days. It does a little bit because you can do things that you can sell, but Making sure you're doing your homework. So market research, can you make money on it? What's your break-even point? Will customers pay your price? Where can you sell product? Marketing plan, and then forecasting your startup costs for the project. Processing techniques, bottling, canning, fermenting, dehydrating, smoking. There's so many options here. It's really about figuring out what product you have and what to do with it once you get it to the market. Partnering with the right chef who has the experience can really enhance your processing by implementing proper systems to make this run smoothly. There's a lot of obstacles that you will come across while doing processing. As you know, consistency in product, real food isn't 100% consistent. So how do you deal with this? Storage once it's processed, maintaining the best possible methods for storing, high competition. Can you get it to market quickly? What obstacles are going to prevent that, and how do you overcome them to get a faster return on your investment? There are obviously a lot more, so that's just a kind of a quick snapshot on these. And then rolling into packaging. These don't really necessarily relate to Open Farm Days, but just quickly. Finding the right container for your product. There's so many options out there for packaging. Doing your homework and research, so important. Making sure you make the right decision on the packaging is best for your product. With a chef who has the experience can really make this much smoother for you. A quick things to think about. Price point of the packaging. This can easily add a large unexpected cost to your product. What angle will the guest be looking at when deciding to purchase your product? And does the packaging showcase what's inside? Does the container fit the product? How much product do you need to have in it to make it look full? If the container is too large, you'll have to fill it with product. Does this price point then fit in line with the competition? Does the container have an airtight seal? This is important for shelf life. If you're using labels, where will they be? You don't want your customers turning it upside down to read the bottom. If you're planning on shipping and transporting, how will you do this? Will they fit into crates and boxes so there's no movement and chance of damage? In my experience, a smaller package is better. We started made with large containers, and people always complain they look like small portions and the price was too high. We made a quick adjustment. And sales went up right away, which is very strange. It really just shows that customer perception is everything. And then a few quick things, does the container fit what you're trying to do? Is it compostable, recyclable? Does this matter to you? What is the story of the company that makes them? And does it fit your why? Just remember that your packaging is an extension of what's on the inside. Labeling standards, this is a whole other important section. So please refer to the CFIA labeling standards on the website. I can answer a lot of questions on this, but it is so particular that I don't want to mislead you in what's required. And then same sort of thing, the same obstacles, consistency, storage, maintaining. I can answer any questions to these, so please reach out if you have any questions. And then just quickly on wholesale, I just want to quickly touch about this. It really doesn't refer to Open Farm Days, but it's more food for thought for future. So if you're looking to find wholesale partners, there's a lot of great grocery stores in Calgary and area that are a great place to start when looking to get into this. The smaller companies are the ones that will have the same value as you and are much easier to work with. If you're looking to get into larger wholesale operations, there are a few options. Food brokers are a great way to start. They have contacts in large chains, they know the business inside and out, and they can help you get your foot in the door. The only disadvantage is they do take a percentage of your sales. So if this isn't something you're interested, you need to find some contacts in each store, which is possible, and having a chef who can help speak the retail food language can help immensely. Things that you will need to have if you're looking to do this before any grocery store will take you on: a food recall program, training manuals, sampling program, a consistent delivery schedule, have you passed a food audit for your production facility. This is where having a chef comes in. They can build all of these processes for you. And food retails are tough. They're really in it for the bottom line. With that, you must be firm on your numbers and know exactly what your bottom line is. A lot of small suppliers go under because they agree to a price they can't afford. And in the end, they never get the volume they need to survive. So labeling standards, same sort of thing with the CFIA, so please check it out. Obstacles are all sort of the same as well: consistency, storage, maintaining best possible methods for distribution, high competition. I think the biggest part about this is staying true to your brand and your vision. With any growth in a business, there's always the risk of swaying from your brand and your vision. I can't express it enough. to make sure you stick to your beliefs and don't sway. Anyone in marketing will tell you, once you do that, you're done. So, and that kind of rolls into compensation. So depending on what type of partnership you have with chefs, we can charge anywhere from $25 to $150 an hour. Building a budget is all about understanding how much work goes into an event. So something as simple as a small dinner party can take upwards of 15 to 20 hours of work for the chef. So always having to think about the work that goes into it, the planning, the shopping, the prep, whether we're traveling, the amount of time we're on site, and then the traveling home. So the event itself might only be 3 hours, but there's a lot more work that goes into it before they even arrive on site. I think going into quotes and making sure you're always asking for a quote so you know exactly what you might get charged is important. There's always cost of food or supplies and incidentals, and then if there's any labor for support staff. And that kind of rolls into payment options. So there are always ways to work around a tight budget. Remember to get creative, and there's no harm in asking. Often people will work for product for time put in. So if I had an event coming up, someone offered me, some, I don't know, some beef to do it, I might do that if I can use that beef somewhere else along down the line. So just get creative, and really there is no harm in asking. And then the last thing for me, I really just want to say that the relationship between a chef and a farmer and producer is so important. We as chefs can't do our jobs without you, and we're the gateway for you and your business. So I hope that I've shown you that working with a chef can open the door to many business opportunities. Just remember, you have to find the right partner for your business. And then if anyone has any questions or would like to reach out to discuss any opportunities, please do.